can help because you kind of helped.
Welcome back, everybody. We're in here laughing about a little Deshaun Watson stuff. If you know what we're talking about, go ahead and mention it in the chat. Anywho, good to have you all here. Suns get a juicy, delicious W against the Lakers. I don't care if it's THT or Horton Here's a Who playing. I don't care if LeBron is there or, wow, I almost said something really bad, is there. So, listen, we got to win against the Lakers. I made steaks tonight. I went all out. I had a great meal because this is like Christmas Day. Anytime you beat the Lakers, feels like Christmas Day to me. Sons Geek, what was your vibe tonight during the game?
Oh man! First off, it's been so long since I've seen you guys. I mean, how long has it been?
Forever.
You know what I mean? No, I mean I agree with you, man. The vibe was cool tonight. I mean, I got some food myself. I drank a beer. I was just chilling, watched it on my father's giant TV. You know, it was one of those games. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it was a great night. I had a good day myself, and the vibe was good. I mean, we were kind of talking about it on my channel. By the way, go check out the podcast, the live stream that we just had on my Sons Geek channel. It was good, man. It was just a matter of just kind of taking care of business, you know what I mean? And the Lakers did good. They hung in there, and it was a good night, though. I'm just glad we got the W. And Chris Paul, 10,000 assists and more. DeAndre Ayton had a great game. So we're talking about vibes. We're talking about positivity. We're not really going on rants and stuff about DA, and it was good, man.
What did you guys think of the first initial look at Craig?
Do you mind if I start with that?
Yeah.
I liked it. He got into early foul trouble. Now that could be maybe just because the referees were biased towards the Lakers. I don't exactly know how many minutes he had. Probably under 10 or
7.
under 12. 7, okay. He looked good. Now, they said on the broadcast at one point, it was Taylor Horton Tucker, that he looks a lot stronger than he is because he had one play where he was I think driving to the rim. I don't know if he necessarily threw an elbow, but he kind of shoved Craig off of him, and Craig still, contested the shot. And he's a good defender. He was active. He was cutting to the basket. He tried. He probably hasn't had much time to practice. You know what I mean? I thought he looked good. And if that's a small preview of what we're going to get with the guy, if he plays defense and does his job, then I think we got a steal.
Definitely. Salty?
I like him. How tall is this dude? 6'7", 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'7".
He looks like a good defender, and it's strange that we just got him for cash. There was nothing else involved there.
120K, you guys. We got him for 120K.
So,
jeez.
When's the last time that's happened where a team was able to use cash considerations to pick up a player that potentially could be a rotational player in the playoffs? I can't remember something like that. So shout out to James Jones for willing and dealing and doing his thing.
TJ Warren. I just thought of it. TJ Warren.
Yeah, that was probably a bigger one for cash, right? I mean, he with his skill level and stuff like that. Yeah. But if James Jones isn't executive of the year, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Who else?
We've already talked about it. We're storming the NBA Capitol if that happens.
Because it's one thing for Monty not to get it, because there's you could have an argument for the Jazz's coach and some other things, But as far as executive goes, to take a team that was just has one of the longest droughts in all sports for playoffs, they said that on the Lakers broadcast. I think the Kings have a longer drought with 15 years, and the Suns are at 10. And for him to pull us out of that, I tweeted about this. If this dude gets us a championship and does something that they've never been able to do with this franchise, build a statue of James Jones, heck, put Monty Williams out there, put the whole team out there, just make a giant statue of everybody, because it's true, man. James Jones is doing his thing, but I like this dude. I like his defense. If he takes up Nader's time, like all of it, then I'd be super happy with that. And I think the cherry on top of the sundae would be a shot blocking center potentially in the second unit. I don't know where they would get that though, for rotation's sake. What do you guys think?
That's probably one thing we didn't talk about on my channel. Go ahead, Gabe.
I was just going to ask Coach. Coach, do you mind answering that? And then about Torrey Craig. Shot blocking center and Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Shot blocking center. Go back and watch our first podcast together. That's been our glaring need from the beginning. If we could, I'd package Nader, Javon Carter, whoever else we need to get a shot blocking center within reason. I'm not going to throw out Cam Johnson to throw out Cam Johnson.
No.
I'm not going to, you know what I mean? I'm not going to throw out those type of dudes, but any of our bench guys, like I would absolutely do it. Torrey Craig, though, if anybody in the chat can find out his wingspan, does anybody here know? I'm looking through everything, and usually you can find it pretty easily, and I can't find anything.
I just know that dude's got long arms, and he can defend.
And he can hop.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also got a beautiful jump shot.
Yeah.
He's got obviously
we didn't
touch
get to see
around.
Tonight.
No, we didn't get to see it tonight, but he's got touch around the rim, which we did get to see. That one little shot that he put in tonight, say what you want. Oh, he only had one bucket. He only shot one time, and there was pressure. There was a hand up in his face.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah, I don't care. Hits it lefty. Beautiful.
He was contesting shots, and one thing I noticed, Coach, you'll appreciate this, was especially on defense, he was like running to the rim, sprinting to the rim, back and forth, just like he kind of knew where he was going, in my opinion. He looked good, man.
I just think he looks like he's got at least a 6'10" to 7 foot wingspan.
Yeah, he's
minimum, right? The dude can obviously jump out of the gym,
shoot.
Look. I'm not going to be surprised if we see a lineup of Chris Paul, Booker, Mikhail, Ayton, or Saric, depending on fouls, and Torrey Craig at some point to close out a game.
I do want to point out the obvious that we are fanboying about a new player. Okay,
in his first game.
We always do this. What do we do with Bender? I mean, you guys in the chat, me too. You guys in the chat are still fanboying about Bender and Ulyss, okay? Because we love our players. So I would just want to point that out. However, I do have good vibes about this guy. He's wearing number 12, Warren's number, okay? I just like this symbolism between that. We gave up a player who ended up being really good for another team for cash considerations, and now this could be like kind of the mending of that and like the healing of that by getting back a number 12 who ends up being very useful for us for cash considerations.
That, and I don't think we're underestimating his defense by any means.
No.
There was a game against Denver last year. In the last second of the game, Booker had it, and we didn't win. We were down 1 or down 2 or something. Booker had it, turned it over. Who was guarding him? Torrey Craig. Crunch time in Denver against the Suns, and Devin Booker had the ball, and he stopped Booker in the fourth quarter for a tie or win. Okay, so he has that potential, and when you look at his foot speed and his body, he's just bigger than Nader. He's longer than Crowder. He's bigger than Cam Johnson. Faster foot speed defensively than Mikal Bridges. So he has a leg up on each of those players. It might be one thing here, one thing there. But he's just that kind of dude, and his cutting tonight, he got that one bucket off of a cut, but he made 2 or 3 more little cuts, didn't get passes to. I just think him and Mikal Bridges going crazy on the wings and cutting whenever, like, that's deadly when you got dudes doing that.
The two of them out there with Chris Paul at the same time defending
Kawhi, defending Paul George.
You need that. You need players that you can throw at stars in waves.
Yes, thank
you. So
you
don't get tired. It's like, oh, yeah, Craig, you're getting tired. That's cool. Hey, Mikhail, you're back in, and good thing you're fresh. And then PG is like, God dang, like, what do I got to do here? Like, every play I get the ball, some fresh, like, go-go gadget armed freak is guarding me. That's what you need in the playoffs.
And you've got fouls now. If you need to have somebody else come in because of foul trouble, you got that. You need somebody to come in to do a foul. You've got extra bodies on there, and then all of a sudden, for 6 minutes a game, we're gonna throw in Nader at the end of the first and the end of the third to guard Kawhi the last 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Just another person to throw out there.
We got a
I'm sorry,
visitor.
guys.
We got 2 visitors.
I had to let my
Oh, look at
dogs
those
in. And
babies.
they're probably going to get
I
in a
love
fight.
dogs.
They going
There
ham in
you
the other
go.
room or what?
No, we're going ham in your basement because you won't let me out of here.
That's true. Hey guys, I let him have his dogs.
Yeah, that
I
was
let him
nice.
have his dogs. I mean, what more do you want?
I'm sorry, I
gonna
missed
make it-
like half that conversation because I had to let my dogs in. You guys know how it is.
Torrey Craig is a future All-Star defensive MVP.
That's what Sons Geek said. Sons Geek is putting his name on it.
I hear Geeks shackles.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys think with the LeBron injury, like if it does extend outwards, like that would change the Suns' thought process in going for it this year? Like,
I don't think, because it's LeBron, I don't think we can go there. Now, if he comes back tomorrow and it's like, no, we need surgery, he's definitely out 8 weeks, let's have a different conversation. But for right now, he's going to play in a week, right? Because it's freaking LeBron.
The trade deadline soon, right?
It's like
yeah, March
Thursday, isn't it?
25th. Yep. And we might have to do an
4
emergency
days.
pod, by the way.
Yeah, if something happens. Plus,
I
you
hope
got
so.
the people that get cut.
Yep.
Potentially.
The buyout. Now, I wonder how long the buyout market's going to be. Like, I wonder if people are going to immediately going to get signed.
It'll be
gonna be
quick
crazy.
at that point, I bet.
Yo, quick shout out to the chat, guys. Burner, appreciate you as always, man. Gabe, Burner, last night, I wanted to tell you this. I'm glad I remembered. When me and Geek were just testing out the dual streaming, I told him, I'm like, bro, Burner's going to be in there cracking jokes before we even go live. Like as soon as you started, and you were
Burner,
in there
you're a
cracking
legend,
jokes
man.
immediately, bro. Like you must have your phone on you at all times. Roy, we got another Gabe
Shout out,
in
Roy.
here. Gabe Tejerina. I hope I said that right. We got Iverson, day one. Orlando, nice to meet you, man. Haven't had you in here before. What's going on? He's saying he wouldn't mind trading more. You could throw more in there because Moore's expendable. Absolutely.
Let's give a shout out to Blazer Tay 2K. He just said, what is it like to have a good coach? I too saw the Portland Dallas game, so
What
it's
happened?
great. It's great to have a good coach. It's really good.
Did Stotts botch it?
What's that?
Didn't Portland beat Dallas before though? Like not long ago.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Remind me to never have my dogs in here ever.
We got no, dude, have him in. You just need him on screen. We got Pedro from Brazil. I think he's saying, "What's going on, Brazil?" Eric Sills, what's going on? First time I've seen you in here, man. But
What's going on, Bo?
I also, Bo, what's good, dude? And Isaac from the
Bo
from the
Outlaw. What's
Bo
up?
Outlaw, everybody. The
Ooh,
actual Bo
there's
Outlaw.
a jersey I need.
That's
I need a
that's
Bo
a
Outlaw
dope ass
jersey.
player right there, man.
Hell yeah. Good. I'm writing that down for jerseys to get.
Yeah,
Bo Outlaw.
I wanted to say, man, we were sitting at 148 subscribers today. We are now at 156.
Congratulations,
Yo,
guys.
let me just talk about
Congratulations.
that, man. I've been doing YouTube for a while, and that growth is phenomenal, man. So let's keep it going, especially for a channel like this that's live stream only predominantly. It's incredible, man. So shout out to everybody that's subscribed. Make sure
Thank
to share it
you.
out to fellow
Seriously.
Suns fans. It's important because let's be honest, there's just not a lot of Suns coverage out there besides BS media, so
Absolutely. And then, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, first off, congratulations, because I think it was Gabe I was telling, or it might have been Coach too. It was like, once you hit that 100, I feel like things start opening up. But 150, and you guys did that in a matter of a few days. That's pretty damn good. And I agree. If you guys are new watching the Valley podcast, or if you guys have seen them on my channel, check these guys out just because you guys keep it real. You know what I mean? And that's one reason I love working with you guys.
Thank you.
And on a personal note, you guys all know, like, you guys are just cool guys, and I love working with you. And my dog's crying, so I apologize. He's congratulating you on the 150 subs.
A lot of people don't know because we never really talk about this, but guys, after this show, man, if only we could do a whole after show, because most times we stay in here for way over 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're in here just drinking and talking about everything.
I think
You know,
people would listen too. There'd be
of
people
course,
just
but
chilling,
you'd
man.
have to understand it's not really Suns talk. We're in here talking
That's
about everything. It's
that's
hilarious.
only fans content right there.
They want to know what your dog's name is.
Oh, I have two dogs. I didn't know this was a thing, but it's they're a golden retriever boxer mix or a retriever boxer mix.
That's cool.
Spunky and Bear. Follow me on Instagram, by the way. Sends Geek
Yo.
on Instagram. You'll see I'm always freaking posting them.
Any
Yeah.
nudes?
They're my life. No, that's on my OnlyFans account.
So there is one thing I want to talk about. And it's a little touchy. Me and Coach are upset. I think Salt's upset. You know what I'm talking about, right, Coach?
No.
No.
Oh.
Well, look. I just want to go on.
Are we gonna go there?
Listen.
Wait, what are we
Should we
talking
stop
about?
streaming?
No, we need to stream this. But if we're gonna go there, are we gonna go there? Or are we gonna?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be too harsh. Look.
Okay,
The thing is, we're changing our name to the Suns Hoop Jam Extravaganza
Locked on.
session.
Geekcast.
Okay. Now listen, we know that doesn't sound anything like Suns Jam session.
Doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue.
There's just we've come to figure out that there's another podcast that took our name. So it would basically be as like if we named our podcast Suns Jam Session, a Phoenix Suns podcast is basically how dead on it is like our name. So we talked to them. They talked to us. They extended a friendly, olive branch. And like, yo, look, we didn't mean to steal your name. We didn't mean to take it. But it's like they're on episode like 5, and we're on episode like 40 something. So it's like, honestly, all you had to do, in my opinion, is go on YouTube, search the name that you're looking to use. Like, so if you put in The Valley, a Phoenix Suns podcast, which I've done from a browser that's like private,
It pulls us up.
So it's like I don't know. I just want to say
Funnel them into us.
I'm
Funnel
not
them
mad
in.
at I'm not angry at you guys. Obviously, it's a dope name, right? Clearly. But it is what it is. I just wanted to acknowledge it. What do you guys think, man? I mean,
we are
made the strangle motion.
Look, man, we're along with Geek, we're one of the only Suns podcasts that's going to go out. We're going to get you content from other markets. We're going to bring you the GOATs onto this show. We're going to bring you Darth Voita. We're going to bring you Geek. We're going to do draft stuff. Wait till me and Gabe start doing draft stuff, and hopefully Geek comes on. And I mean, we're going to do a live show during the draft, right? We're going to do all these things, but we actually play basketball too. We actually coach basketball. I'm not going to say that. Just that's all. That's what we do. That's all I'm gonna say. We don't do pre-recorded shows. We're live with y'all.
Let me put it this way: when I was naming this podcast, I thought to myself, well, I better go on every single platform and search the name of the Valley Podcast. Nothing came up, nothing like it. So, I mean, they say that they did the same thing, but, I don't know. I mean, we're not invisible on YouTube. Like, I don't know. But
imitation is the imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
We'll take it as flattery.
Yeah,
Salty, what do you think?
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, it is what it is. People just try to imitate, but they can't, originate. So that's fine. People know who we are. If they got confused somehow, they'd click on their show and be like, "What the fuck is this?" And then they click off.
They got a dope setup. I'm not hating. It's just the same name.
It's cool.
The same damn name. It's like
good for them. Good for them.
It's like Coca-Cola, or would you like to drink Coca-Cola, a soda drink? Am I wrong?
All right, Geek. You got to get going, my man.
Yeah, you guys know how it is. Appreciate you guys having me on. My dogs are congratulating you guys on our 150 subs. I'm down to come on anytime in the future when I have time and when my dogs aren't here. But congratulations, guys.
Thanks, man. This wasn't that important of a game because there was no Braun. This was just one of those games you don't get on here and gloat about.
I still wanted to go live, though, because I was like, one, it's the Lakers, and two, I haven't live streamed personally on my channel in a month. So I was like, it's got to happen with the Lakers game. So thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm sorry I have to get out of here. I will be in the chat. I'll be watching you guys.
Thanks, brother. We appreciate you.
Of course, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Later, dude.
Get back in your hole.
Cheers.
Yeah, I got to go back to my basement now. Wish me luck, guys.
That chain better be tight on your ankle.
Don't forget the leather
God
collar.
help you.
See you later, guys.
Oh man, we love Geek, dude. Geek. If anybody doesn't know, he put us on there. He put us on pretty much. I was gonna say put us on his podcast. He just put us on, man. He put us on Twitter. He put us on YouTube. He believed in us when we had like 30 subscribers and we were pulling like 11 views concurrently. We freaking love the Geek. And I know Salty's like actually been a fan of his for years. You guys knew about him for years before I heard about him. And it's real love, man. And we appreciate him. And he is locked in my basement, but we still love him, you know? So
3 Men in a Basement podcast.
the Dr. Pibb podcast. So anyways, you guys got any notes about the game or should I launch into mine?
I think just for me, if you have it in yours, is the lineups coming out. We've talked about that a little bit, but I'm really excited to see what Monty does going forward with a full roster. But I'm curious to hear about your notes.
Well, I want to talk about that runner, that hook shot that Book hit in Kuzma's face. It was beautiful, right? I mean, that's an old school, old man move. You don't see any two guards doing hook shots, dude.
It works though.
Name a two guard that does a hook shot in the NBA. Like, I'll give you a couple seconds.
We saw Steve Nash do it quite a few times. That's
hook
like
shot,
the most.
That's
like the most recent dude I can think of that would pull that off. That's not a big man. So I'm trying to think.
We enslaved the Geek. That's love. You know, it's like
He has
like
a safe word.
Yeah, he hasn't said it yet. Like, you want to get on us about it. This is a him thing. So no, it was just, but then did you see Kuzma's face?
I did not. You said it earlier, and I think you even tweeted or somebody tweeted. I did not see it.
His face, like, he's all over Book, and Book's just like, and it goes in, and Kuzma just goes,
good.
Like, bullshit. Like,
it's another dude that took money to go
That's
to college.
A bullshit shot. Oh, you don't like Kuz? I want Kuz on the Suns someday. If we ever needed a wing, I would like him in our thing, but we don't need him by any stretch.
I saw, since I live in Utah and my wife is a huge Utah fan and her parents have the season tickets, all that. I went to Kyle Kuzma's very first game and he played like 7 or 8 minutes. And I said right there to her, and you can ask her, I said, that dude is going to be in the NBA. That dude can be a star. And he had the potential. The dude really did. But once I found out that he took money to, like Dennis Smith Jr. and Ayton to go to college, I mean, I'm sure more players do it, but this one just came out. Like, I just lost respect for the dude. And then it feels like anything that he's done with the Lakers recently hasn't lived up to potential. And I just don't like the guy. It's just me. I don't know him. It's just from what he portrays and what I see on social media, ESPN, whatever. But that's me and Kuzma.
Salty, what do you think about Kuz?
I'm not a fan. Pass on him. Just the thing. It is.
We sure as hell
like,
don't need him.
Nah. I've never saw Kuzma, or I've never seen him and been like, God damn, I wish I had him on the Suns. Like, it's never crossed my mind that way, you know?
That's fair.
So he could stay on the Lakers. It's cool.
Of course. I was just saying, like, I admire his game. I admire his offensive game, I should say. I don't admire his defensive game. Is that fair? The dude can hit threes. He's pretty tall. He's confident.
He's a 30% three-point shooter.
Really? But he plays good against us, usually.
Didn't he dye his hair blonde too?
Yeah, he dyed his hair blonde like Jason Kidd.
That's when
you're right.
You're
I'm
just
out.
Like,
I'm out on Kuz. I forgot about the head and the
hair
pants
blonde.
that he wears.
Screw that.
He's
shit.
6'10", but I'll take Cam Johnson over Kuzma just for the role that we would use him in.
No lie, bro. Let's talk about Cam, please. So we've talked about it a few times now. how he's
so
not
good.
been there. Didn't he really help the team tonight? Couldn't you just feel the different like vibe? It's almost like half of what Kelly brought as far as energy. He brings a little bit of energy and swag to the team because they love his ass.
I just love how he's developing other facets of his game, bro. Like when we drafted him, literally everybody would tell you this dude's the best 3-point shooter or shooter in the draft, basically. Like, but they wouldn't say anything else. They wouldn't say, "Oh, he has athleticism or he has this or that." Like all they said was, "This guy is a shooter." So you're thinking of all these other just one-trick pony shooters out there, and you thought that that's what this kid's going to be, but then we got him on the team and he's throwing dunks down on people. Like who did he dunk on that one game? I forgot, man.
It was against the Lakers, wasn't it?
I think it was against the Lakers. He's getting to the rack. He's developing other aspects of his game. You could tell that like he's going to be special, like not all-star special, I don't think, but he'll be definitely a starter in this league. And he's definitely a player that you want on your team. Like, I don't know what you guys think his ceiling is, but he's just really good at shooting. He's tall. He's got a good body for the league. And
that's a great question.
What's up?
For the chat.
Ceiling.
For everybody. Right. What do you guys think Cam Johnson's ceiling is? And then let's start with Coach. And then you Salt.
He's 6'8". He just turned 25. It was March 3rd. Happy belated birthday, Cam. But he's 210 pounds. If he could find a way to put 15, if him and Mikal Bridges could find a way to look like Torrey Craig, we would have like an unbeatable. We would be the Monstars. You know what I mean? But his ceiling, offensively, I think his ceiling right now could be a not quite Kuzma, but maybe Mikal Bridges type, which he's already developing, mainly just getting into the lane and being able to hit that consistently like Mikal can do. And I think he could be a 42 to 45% 3-point shooter as well, too. So
give me a 2K rating. The highest 2K rating
if
you can
anybody knows what he is right now, that would be awesome. Or if somebody
I
could
guarantee you
Google
he's like
probably
a 78, 79.
70.
Cam Johnson 2K rating. Hold on. I just want to get that.
He's
books at 89.
Hey, Gabe, you remember when we were playing NBA
78?
2K?
I told you. I said he's a 78 or 79. Of course.
You remember when we were playing 2K and they had a shit roster and Booker was like rated? What was he rated? Like in the low 80s?
84. Yeah. Even
82. He was 82 for some, man.
For a while. Yeah. So what do you think?
What's Cam Johnson's ceiling, and who does he compare to? Like
85, 86, I think would be his absolute high ceiling from what I've seen. Just he doesn't have the craziest hops or handles or playmaking ability, right? And he's just got to add on the weight if he wants to do more stuff on defense. That's just my opinion. Let me think of a comp for him, though. There's somebody out there.
Someone said Trevor Ariza in the chat.
I have a wild comp, but go ahead.
You were calling him like who are you talking to? You said someone on who do you think he who do you think he compares to?
Who he reminds me of, and you guys are gonna laugh at me.
Who?
Devin Booker.
What?
Told you were gonna laugh. I told you were gonna laugh, but hear me out. Will you hear me out? So he came in known as just a shooter. What did Booker come in as? Just a shooter. This dude doesn't really do anything. He just moves from side to side, catches and fires. Well, that didn't pan out that way. Booker put his nose to the grindstone and he developed his handles and he developed going at the rim, finding out how to dunk, layup, slash a little bit, his mid-range. Cam Johnson comes in and he's just a shooter. They think he's just going to be a shooter. But have you guys not seen from him that he's getting better the last couple of years at putting the ball on the ground, cutting?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I think his ceiling, the highest he'd pan out if he got on, as far as a 2K rating, would be like an 85. Whereas Booker's currently at an 89, and I think he should be like a 92.
Hey, real quick, his comps coming out of college were RJ Hunter and Justin Jackson.
Ugh.
I just had to throw that in there. Sorry, Gabe.
Man, he's so much better than Bull. Well, is he better than RJ Hunter? How's RJ Hunter doing?
I guess I don't watch him enough to really say.
I don't
me
even
neither.
know.
You never hear about him. Is that crazy? I mean, I know he's not going to be as good as Booker has gotten, but I see him doing the same thing, coming in and making himself better than just a shooter.
I don't know,
I don't
man.
see that.
Booker,
I don't see that at all.
I don't see that at all, really, either. But Booker, he relied on his 3-point shot like almost entirely his first year, and then he transitioned out to that mid-range game. I'm not sure what year it was, but into that like Kobe-esque mid-range type, getting to the rack, and then not really just shooting it for three, because his 3-point shot is not the best. I don't know what his percentage is, but
37.5 this year, which is down from the last 2 years.
yeah, so his 3-point shot's not as good as when what was his rookie year? I feel like he was a better 3-point shooter.
I just
when
had
he-
it open
when he came out.
Last year he was 39%. This year he's 37.8. But I think all of us would agree there's no reason why he couldn't be a 40 to 42% shooter. Is it a COVID year? Did the games just started so soon after he didn't really have much time to work on it? I don't know, but I think he could be.
The question in the chat is Cam better than Kobe White, because we could have drafted him, right? That same draft, I believe.
No, Kobe White was drafted like 8th or something like that. We traded back, but
yeah, it's like
before we traded,
we wouldn't have Chris Paul then, and we probably wouldn't be in a playoff conversation.
We could still have gotten Chris Paul and moved Kobe White to the backup for him,
but then we wouldn't have Cam Johnson.
Yeah,
and Saric for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather have Cam.
I would say Cam Johnson would be a poor man's Cliff Robinson. Little shorter, little less in weight, little less tenacity on defense. Can be a knockdown shooter, though.
Geek is back. What's good, Geek?
The Geeks are here.
Would we take Tyler Harrow over Cam? I personally would, because I believe, and go ahead and make fun of me. I think I've never seen anyone look more like another player than Tyler Harrow looks like Devin Booker. He is so clear to me. He has stolen all he does. The only person that Harrow watches is Booker. I'm convinced of it.
He's stolen
all of his moves. Did he say that?
Yeah, he said
you can't tell.
He had a Booker jersey before he went to college or whatever. He said his favorite player was Booker. It's kind of like the reason why Kobe has he looks like Booker looks like Kobe is because he watched Kobe and patterned his game after him, and that's why Kobe did look like Jordan, because he patterned his game off. So yeah, Hero just watched Booker, loved him, and patterned his game off of him. You know.
No, Gabe Martinez, not Harrison Barnes. I feel like Cam Johnson is way more active than Harrison Barnes. That's just me, though.
Which Harrison Barnes are we talking about? The one that went to the Kings, or the one that was like really good on the Warriors?
If it's really good on the Warriors, then I mean, Harrison Barnes had more handles. I felt like could get to the rim a little easier. If you watch Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, when they pump fake and they step with the correct foot and protect the ball to cut and drive to the basket, it's the exact same thing. They are doing the exact same things together, man. These are going to be like identical wing players. We just need to get their weight up a little bit. That's the only thing. Even Cam Johnson's pump fake one dribble in for a shorter shot, like that was so nice to see. It's those little things. Would you trade Kaminsky and Payne and draft capital for Lauri Markkanen? No.
You guys say no?
What kind of draft capital are you talking about?
That have never watched the Bulls?
Hey,
I would trade DeAndre Ayton for Lauri Markkanen.
What kind of money is he gonna want?
You haven't watched Lauri Markkanen play.
And then who's our backup point guard? Are we just gonna
if he's that good and what's his name's good? Why aren't they?
I don't know.
Pushing for the playoffs then?
I can't do
because
that
of the
one.
Bulls, and they got rid of Michael Jordan when they shouldn't have, and it's like a Babe Ruth curse.
I'm invested now in Cam Johnson, and I don't want another University of Arizona player here. So that is for sure my biased opinion.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't like
100%.
Laurie.
Okay,
he's a
that
U
makes
of A guy.
sense. That makes sense. He's a U
I'm
of A guy.
honestly gonna say that. That's my biased. I'm
Same
taking
with
my
that
coaching hat
redheaded
off.
guy that plays with the Warriors, or
I mean,
any of the U of A players, dude.
He is 7 foot. I like that. He is even younger than Cam Johnson by 2 years, and he's played in the league. This is already his 4th season, and he's 23. And he's consistently 15, 18, 14, 18 points this year.
Who would be your
3-point
backup
shooting.
point then?
Exact. Each one more. Gabe. I was almost going to say Gabe Von Carter.
Yes,
Gabe
yes.
Von Carter.
It'd be Javon and
Yeah,
Campaign,
Nico.
and you might have to have more point book then.
Hey, so did you guys hear the rumor
That's
mill that
close.
Oubre is going to be on the trading block
I didn't hear
at the
that.
trade deadline?
I didn't
Yeah,
hear
it came.
that.
It was a news story. Yeah, I forgot where I read it, but
All right, we're
I-
going into
I-
Oubre talk. Let's go. Let's do it.
I read it, and I was immediately the thing that came to my head. Even if they like cut him, which because at the beginning of the season when he's playing like just utter trash,
Dog shit.
I was just like, I looked at the forums and all the fans and stuff like that saying how bad he is and they should cut him and this and that. At that point, I was just like, man, as good as Oubre was for the culture and stuff like that, like how many wings do we have on the team right now?
How many do you
Like-
have to do? If we do that, we have to move somebody else.
Nah, it would. I feel like it would stunt the growth of our young stud wing players, dude. That's why we got rid of him in the first place. You know, like
Man,
where
I
would he
wish-
even play?
I want to make it work.
How would that work?
Okay,
Would you
so
prefer
here,
him or Crowder? Ooh.
Crowder.
Crowder,
I think Crowder.
every day of the week.
You know, because of his IQ.
His
you know?
playoff experience. He was in the finals.
Well, one thing to think of before you answered, Gabe, we were like the top of the league the last 2 years just in deflections alone, which I believe deflections is an underrated stat because that just gets the other team out of rhythm. You don't know if you should pass it or not, and then all of a sudden you're thinking about it the whole game. So I think that's very underrated. And he was averaging like 19 points a game. I'm against it, but I just wanted to be devil's advocate for a second. So answer now, Gabe.
It's
I mean,
tough, right? It's tough, but I think I do it, man.
Wow. Well,
think
then you need to show everybody what that jersey over your left shoulder is.
Man, should
I think you need to.
Well,
Psh,
well.
he still beats to it every night, or what?
That's his Chris Paul jersey, right?
Is it?
Oh
No.
my goodness.
He said he was gonna block out the names to go to a Suns game and just have it as
Listen.
Chris Paul.
Since we're talking Oubre, here's what I would do, okay? And I'm gonna be very reasonable. I think you'll find this reasonable. I would not trade him for something that's going to like take anything away from our team, but considering the fact that they have bottomed out, he has bottomed out his value and they have bottomed out his value by making it known that he's on the trade block. If we could get him, if he gets bought out, I would like to make it work. So if that means saying goodbye to Craig, I would say, yo, Craig, it was fun while it lasted, dude. I want you to come back at some point. But Kelly's, I know what I get from Kelly when he's playing with Book. And bro, I mean, to me, Oubre and Book, it was like a Walmart version. It was a Walmart version of Jordan and Pippen. It was lively. They loved being on the court together, and they had their talent just meshed so well.
And he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder too. If he gets bought out, I'm down. I don't want to trade for him because he's a free agent going
I
into
gotta change
next
this
year.
back, bro. That's really tripping to me.
He's a
Yeah,
free
his-
agent, so I don't want to trade him for that reason.
His salary would be too much too, right? I mean, you'd have to
Yeah.
match it. What is he getting paid? I don't know.
19 mil.
That's what I'm saying. So no, we're not going to pay him what
No
they
way.
paid him. But if he gets bought out and he gets his chance to come back to us, I would say goodbye to Craig, and I would say goodbye to what's up.
I have a great one. On the buyout market, because this has been rumored for weeks now, and could potentially come up considering they've dropped like 11 of the last 12. Would you rather, on the buyout market, get Andre Drummond, Oubre, or Aaron Baines? On the buyout market for this year, you're only going to have him for the rest of the
Scratch
year.
Aaron Baines off immediately.
What a bitch.
For me.
What a bitch. Yeah. Why, dude?
Dude is trash.
With the Raptors, what have we talked about as our number one need? A presence behind.
Is he a defensive
He's not
center?
A shot blocking presence.
He's not a defensive center.
Defensive and rebounding. I mean, he bodies them up like Saric, right?
He's like a strong man. But Drummond, the thing with Drummond is I feel like at this point tonight, notwithstanding, Drummond is almost like a wash with Ayton, right? Like, is Drummond gonna if you swapped out Drummond for Ayton, would you see any drop off in production? I say no.
I'd say our defense would go up, and anybody that says otherwise hadn't been watching.
Okay, that's but they can't play together. They cannot play. They will never work together. It's like having two Dwight Howards there. It just they will not mesh well.
But if we got to play against AD and Gasol,
you're a coach. What happens when you have two centers that won't shoot jumpers and won't shoot anything further than 12 feet?
You have them come off it. You have them both set a double screen at the top of the key, and whatever way Chris Paul goes, that guy rolls, and the other guy backs out for a three, which Andre Drummond can hit. Or Ayton obviously can't, but he's been shown to do it. Or you stagger them a little bit. You have him coming off at 2 picks. There's things you can do because Drummond can shoot the three. There's things you can do.
Hey, Romp with the comment of the night.
Shout out, Romp.
Gabe falls in love with mediocre players.
Hey, it's but true, man. At least he respects it.
If you've been friends long enough as I have with Gabe, man, this dude falls in love with the most mediocre players.
That's why me and Geek are such good friends. This dude will
Shannon
not get
Brown.
off the fender. Don't bring up Shannon Brown.
Gerald Green.
Who didn't love Gerald Green?
I love Gerald Green. That's what Kelly Oubre did. Kelly Oubre did bring us that swag and all that, and he brought us a little puff your chest out.
Who's the dude that was on the Pelicans we were trying to sign that was and then he went to the Rock? Eric Gordon. That was your dude, man. You had the biggest boner for Eric Gordon.
Gordon, you did. You went down to the stadium and you were holding up a sign when he came in to meet Sarver, saying, you're our cornerstone. Remember, you called me and told me
bullshit.
He's gonna be a cornerstone of the franchise. Just watch.
He got injured for the next 3 seasons in a row, and then went to the Rockets.
On the Facebook, Lane Gibbons, he said, "Y'all see Torrey Craig get ejected? Was that a joke, or did he just get kicked out? Did I miss something?"
What?
I didn't think I saw him get it.
Y'all saw Torrey Craig get.
I was all in on Jimmer.
Jimmer was your boy. You brought a sign to the game.
And stop hating.
He didn't even get to get into the game.
That was messed up. Jimmer goes back to the Chinese Sharks and throws down a 70-point game, just like Book. Everybody hates Jimmer in here. Yeah, you guys, come on.
He was in Utah. He wanted to show off to his BYU fans.
Jimmer.
So, Pedro says a buyout for Baines. To get back on the Baines thing, I'm a big Baines fan. Look at this. Just who was better last year, Baines or Kaminsky?
Baines.
Okay. What happened when Kaminsky went to the Kings? It was not a fit because he doesn't fit that offense the way he fits our offense. You bring him back here, and I'll be darned, we're actually able to use him. Okay,
you go on an 8-0 win streak.
Baines goes to the Raptors. It doesn't work. They're not using him right. I truly believe he's better than Kaminsky. You bring him back and put him in our system, then why wouldn't he be able to be something like he was last year? I don't think he lost it. I think they don't use him the same.
If it's an upgrade over Kaminsky, I'm game. If that's
I'd drop Kaminsky for Baines. Would you guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I know Salt would. I know Saul
Yeah.
would.
No, I like Baines better than Kaminsky, and I just think that the market will be better. Like there's something better you can get than Baines, in my opinion. I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out.
Andre Drummond.
But
That's it.
like if we're trying to go for a championship, I don't know. Like it would improve us, but like could we do better? We'll see what happens. I hope that we can do better. Who's JaVale McGee playing for? Is he on the Cavs? Where is he at?
No.
Along with Jared
Yeah.
Allen, yeah.
Is he? He's always somewhere.
Like
Yeah.
if I don't know what his contract status is, but like I feel like he would be the perfect scenario if he got bought out. Like if you put him on the Suns,
I'd
put him in
rather
that
get
second
JaVale
unit.
McGee. Not JaVale McGee. I'd rather get Jared Allen, man. That'd
I
be
like
awesome.
Jared Allen better.
What's his situation look like?
I don't think. I mean, he just got traded from the Nets to the Cavaliers, and the Cavs suck right now. So I don't know.
Think like how many years left on his contract? Because
I'm gonna look it up.
See, and Burner brings up a good point that I think about is if we got Drummond, would he actually accept coming off the bench? I don't really think so. And then he'd probably
He's not on a team.
He's not?
No.
Drummond is not on a team?
He ain't playing right now.
Wait,
So
did
he's
he already
been
get
bought
cut
out.
or bought out?
No, he's not playing. He's not playing right now.
Gabe
So
heard that
they're
Kurt
about to
Thomas
cut him.
is unretiring.
There we go. That's where we
Kurt
need to go
Thomas was a
after.
baller, dude.
Have
but,
Kurt
hey.
Thomas come in and work with Ayton.
So JaVale McGee and Jared Allen are both going to be free agents next year. McGee makes 4.2, Allen makes 3.9. So
Either of those could I could see either of those getting bought out just because the fact that where are the Cavs at record wise?
I just had it. The Cavs are they're like
Are they out of it?
Fourth worst team in the East, and they're 4.5 games back of a playoff spot. I guess they're 3.5 games back of the playing game.
Yeah, that's too close. See, they might try to go for it since they just perennially suck. I can't say
They're
the
16.
word.
They're 16-26. They ain't close. They know they're poopy.
If either of those dudes get bought out by the Cavs, I think they'd be good fits for the Suns to pick them up.
What about when is Kevin Love going to go to a team that matters? Because I'd love to have him Kevin Love and just see what he's got left.
I was done with that in 2014. I think.
Yeah, I got tired.
Same bus.
I got tired of Kevin Love years ago, dude. I
You
don't
know
really want to have
me
anything to do with him, man. Honestly,
the reason why I kind of like him now a little bit more is because he didn't leave Cleveland. I just like Dame Lillard. I just respect loyal players and players.
He left Minnesota.
He didn't have a chance to be loyal or not. He signed that fat contract.
Yeah, but bro, he could have pulled a Deshaun Watson
when LeBron was there. Out. He didn't have leverage for that, though. Really, be realistic, dude. Like he got his fat contract. He's collecting his checks. It's to his benefit to just collect those checks, man. He is getting ridiculously overpaid, man.
Yeah,
for
we've got
whatever his production isn't.
35, 36 people in the chat. Man, we love every single one of you guys. We're not going anywhere. If you have not hit the like button, please hit it for us. What did we get the other night live, dude? We got 28 or something. So good. If you guys haven't, please
try to get that 30 mark. And if you're new, hit us in the chat for a shout out. We'll give you guys a shout out. We appreciate all you guys.
Roman, what's good? I haven't seen Roman Avila in here before. He says if we get Drummond, Ayton doesn't stay, but that's not likely. Yeah, Burners, says a no for Kevin Love. So yeah, nobody likes
fat no for me on Kevin Love, dude.
P Dog says Dame's not loyal. He left Weber State Wildcats for the Blazers. True.
Facts.
The audacity.
So we're not going to talk about Sasha Vujacic.
Oh, let's talk about Sasha.
The Sasha
is he available, Coach? Is there any whispers that he's really available?
Man, back in 2009, he had a flurry of options. I don't know about nowadays.
Oh,
It's either him or Bender, right? Those are the two saviors for the Suns.
No, Nicola's actually the shit. So, do you know if there's any? Are they looking to get rid of him?
every day I open, I see an obscure article of an ESPN or Hoops Hype or whatever. There's always something with him. It's constant. Where there's smoke, there's fire at some point.
Look at their record.
I know.
It's like
It
makes sense.
after
the number
Jonathan
one pick.
Jonathan Isaac got out, and then Markelle Fultz, when they were over 500, Fultz goes out for the season. He was out for a few games, and there's somebody else I'm missing that went out as well too. But
what's up, Elixity?
Hey, shout out to Johnny in the chat. Is he new?
I think Johnny is. What's good? And,
welcome to the family.
That song's Geek guy looks new. Who is he? Shout out to him.
Yeah, I don't know. He just keeps spamming stuff about Dragon Bender. He's gonna get whipped tonight. Rest assured.
I'm gonna start calling Sons Geek the Geek Freak. All right. If you don't know what that reference is.
Hey, I got a question. Okay, so I feel like I know you guys are gonna not like it, but chat, what do you guys think? And I know that the Blazers uprise. I don't know if you guys are being serious or if this is like an inside joke. I'm dead ass. I've always wanted Aaron Gordon on the team. Now, take your Arizona hatred and put it in a box for just a second.
I did it with Channing Frye. I should be given bonus points for that.
Let your love for the Suns override your hatred for Arizona for just a moment.
I wanted to draft DeAndre Ayton. I've made a few poor decisions. I don't know if I can do this one.
What do you guys in the chat think about Aaron Gordon and trying to get him on our team? I effing love his game.
You'd have to give up too much, and I feel like he's overrated as fuck.
18.1 in cap, so he's actually making a little bit, about $1 million less than Kelly Oubre. The problem is that he's a high flyer. Once that's gone, like, you're just a Blake Griffin again. So I don't.
He just, if you look at his numbers, I think they've been pretty stagnant. He just kind of bottomed out with his talent level. Just didn't. I mean, he's okay, dude. He should have won the dunk contests. He's kind of where I feel about Levine, but I don't know. Aaron Gordon, like, has he elevated his team at all with Orlando? Like, what?
That's what they say about Book. That's what they say about. They've always said that about Book. But bro, Orlando is one of those places like the Kings, like Sacramento. No offense, people, where your career goes to die.
He's averaging 14.8 and not even 7 rebounds and almost 30 minutes of work, man. And he did the same thing last year. His best season,
that's what we said about Aiden,
was 17-8. His best season was 17-8, and that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's a fat no for me, man.
He is a 41% 3-point shooter now, for what that's worth.
He's a good 3-point shooter. I guess it is my bias for dunkers.
He's better than Cam Johnson, I'll say that.
And he's better than who?
He's better than Cam Johnson. I'll give him that. He is better than Cam. He shoots at a better rate.
His 3-point percentage?
As a player, Aaron Gordon is better than Cam Johnson.
I don't know. If you told me I had to trade Cam Johnson straight up for Gordon, I wouldn't do it. And I'm the one sitting here arguing for Gordon.
So you wouldn't be doing it anyway? I wouldn't do it either. Then.
I wouldn't do it. I just don't think he fits like we want him to. And I just love the development of Cam and Mikal together.
The Portland Trailblazers fans seem to love Gordon, so they can have him, you know?
Stop hating. So Johnny says, I thought about Gordon, but how would he fit next to Ayton? Well, he's shooting 42% from the 3-point line, so that would really help. That means that the 4 has to play snug on Gordon, and that gives Ayton only one person in the paint to go up against.
It is another person that can run the pick and roll with Chris.
His defense is poor. Defense is poor.
Here's crazy fact. He's the same age as Cam Johnson, and this is his 7th season.
Wow.
He's
See,
got a
that's
lot of wear and tear
okay.
on his knees, though.
Lot of wear and tear. Yeah, facts. He's
But he's the
Cam's
same
not a
age.
jumper.
I mean, he would. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
but
there's
he's been in the
wear and
NBA.
tear. I mean, look what happened to Blake. Look what happened
Okay,
to Amari. Look what happened to Sean Kemp.
The whole thing about Gordon not being a good defender, put him on the Suns team and put him under Monty's tutelage and Monty's rule, which is if you're not playing defense, you're not playing. I truly believe, I feel like I know for a fact that defense is all about attitude. And I think Gordon's attitude on defense would change on a contender.
All right, so here's why it won't happen again. You would have, because he would be slotted into where Crowder's playing. Crowder specifically chose us a free agency, and if you went a different route with this dude, it would just have so much blowback from a future standpoint. It's just ridiculous because this guy literally chose you over other teams. He was in the finals, chose you, said he wanted to take you to new heights, and then all you do is just stab him in the fucking back. You know what I'm saying? Plus, Crowder brings, it's bad mojo. Crowder brings that defensive swagger and intensity that I like. Gordon has zero playoff experience. He's overrated, does not play defense. He's not. I would just stick with what we have. I would not go there at all, even if it became available, because they would want. They're not going to just give up Gordon for free. You'd have to give up assets in return, and I don't want to do that. Like, it would hurt us more than it would help us,
I'll take Crowder.
Yeah.
That's fair. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Two names that came up in the chat while you were doing that. One of them was Mason Plumlee. I think I'll pass on Mason Plumlee. No disrespect.
That dude's still playing?
Yeah, I just don't. Not Miles Mason, the white dude in Denver.
Okay.
His brother.
Like I just don't. He doesn't move the needle for me, so I'm gonna pass on that one. And then the Manimal, Kenneth Fareed. Let's go. Let's bring the Manimal.
He's still playing,
bro. Fareed.
No.
I was like, what?
No, dude. Fareed. They took Fareed out back and shot him, bro, and fucking buried his ass. Like his career.
Shame.
He was the risingest of rising stars, and then that shit just once people figured him out, it was over.
Yeah, he's 31 now. The last
That's
time
so
he
young.
played.
Bring Robin Lopez back for his.
He hasn't played in 2 years. His last year, he actually averaged 13 points and 8 rebounds. Wow.
I loved him too, Coach. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you got to assume that he's washed. You got to assume he's washed.
Oh, he is.
Robin Lopez. Let's bring him back. He can shatter doors again.
He can shatter, man.
Dude, I would bring in his brother. That's the only Lopez I'm interested in.
It's Andre Drummond if he officially gets bought out. Now I'm confused. Does anybody in the chat know, is Andre Drummond officially on the market? Can he be signed?
I'd rather have Mario Lopez than Robin Lopez.
Mario Lopez.
I'd rather sign AC Slater. All right? You hear me, Preppy? Instead of Robin. Don't even bring up Robin.
Sideshow Bob.
Bring up Bender if you want to bring up Suns centers that
Larry Nance Jr. There was another one by Brian Scalabrine. Shout out. What's going on? I know you had a bad night up there in Portland. Larry Nance Jr. We like, but me and Gabe were both surprised that he was 6'8", and we were talking about Aaron Gordon, which was a point I was going to bring up, but then it got lost. Like, I just think we need like a 6'11", 7-foot guy. I don't want a power forward that's going to do some stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I just. Not DeMarcus Cousins. No, Jackie Moon. Moon is intriguing.
You said no Cousins. Salty, are you no on Cousins?
Absolutely.
Man, didn't he have like one good game with Rockets or something?
He already got cut by them.
Yeah, I'd say no.
So can you pull up what he did this year? I am.
Yeah.
Listen, Cousins is one of those guys who you're bringing in.
He's a mental case.
He is the opposite of Ayton mentally.
He's the opposite of he's an opposite of the winner. He's had fights with CP3. I don't think they even like each other, dude.
I'm about to have a fight with you.
9 points.
That is a good point.
Rebounds.
If him and CP3 don't get along,
look. We need Nerlens Noel. I think that would be a realistic.
Where is that dude at?
He's in New York, which they're kind of doing good right now, so that might be hard. But he is a realistic player. Realistic salary, realistic expectations in a role that we need that he can realistically and absolutely fill. I would love
I remember-
Nerlens Noel.
I remember when we wanted to draft that dude. What draft was that?
The Bender draft.
Fuck. Ugh. Bender. Hey, you know what's gonna get us a championship? Bring back the GOAT, Marquise Chris. He's the answer.
I loved him, man.
What?
You did love another mediocre player.
Oh, I'm sorry that I take Suns rookies backs and I give them
Yeah,
a
sure shows
chance.
you.
You said he was Amari without a jump shot. Is that the quote? The famous quote?
that was Hakeem Warwick, and I
Hakeem
stand
Warwick.
by it. Hakeem Warwick played the exact same style with Nash, better than anyone than Amari, but he couldn't shoot the way Amari could, so it wasn't as
Amari without a jumper. That's like an inside joke of ours for like
for
years.
a decade, dude. For more than a decade.
Obi Toppin was more like Amari than Keese ever was.
Yeah.
Marquise Chris.
But man, I just realized Julius Randle's going to be a free agent next year. Chris Paul, what do you have to do to take a pay cut next year so we can go sign Julius Randle too?
He needs to pull a Brady
Oh my
and take
God.
a pay cut.
And then you
Wait,
trade
is he going to be
Ayton-
unrestricted?
Yeah, and then you trade Ayton away because all you need is a defensive presence, and you trade him away for whatever you can get. Get a defensive center in here, and oh my goodness, bring back Rashawn Holmes and Julius Randle. That's my new pipe dream.
Geek, if you can hear me down in the dungeon, first of all, knock twice.
Put the lotion on the skin.
Don't stop putting the lotion on, and let us know if you think this would be a good idea, dude. I think we should do a video at some point, or like a little conversation where we rank who we want the Suns to bring in as far as this deadline, right? Like I see Nicholas saying LaMarcus Aldridge. I think he's number one on my list of realistic.
Shoot, dude, I forgot about him, to be honest.
Whoops.
Wow.
So we should all, like, I'm talking everybody in chat, not just us, right? We'll all list like number one, LaMarcus, number two, and like give us your list. We'll put them up somehow. We'll put them up.
Who would you rather have, Drummond or LaMarcus Aldridge?
LaMarcus Aldridge.
Chat, Drummond or LaMarcus? Suns Geek says we might have to have an emergency pod. Suns Geek, you just want to get out of the basement. That's all this is. So, you know. How about Nas Reed?
I think I'd take Drummond over Aldridge.
Then we're gonna name me amongst serial killers. We're gonna see like where I rank as of top serial killers. John Wayne Gacy, me, Gary, Spurs fan Gary in the house, man. Day one of my best friends.
What's going on, man? Welcome.
He says LA is going to Miami. He's a Spurs fan, so he would be kind of in the know.
Who's in? Oh, Gary's in there?
Yeah, he was saying that.
So Drummond, go get Drummond.
Man, fuck the Heat, dude. Aren't we more appealing than the Heat?
Yes.
We're not as appealing as Florida's taxes.
Miami, them girls though. Am I right? 37 people in the chat.
No income tax, that extra like 20%, 22% in your pocket.
So we got LaMarcus. Pedro says Drummond. Suns Geek says, help me. Shut up. Burner's saying that we're pretty split. P-Dog says Aldridge is a has-been.
We just need one of them, right? If we got either
Aldridge is a has-been.
That's what Ty says LaMarcus. Elixity says that I'm the number one murderer on the list.
Hassan, Cantor. I don't want Cantor.
Y'all can keep Cantor, man.
Keep Cantor up there, bro.
I'll take Hassan Whiteside for sure. I'd rather have Rashawn Holmes. I'll take any of those dudes over in Sacramento.
Depends on yeah.
We just need somebody. We need one of those dudes. We just listen. Any of those, I think all of us would be happy.
Gary says he would take Ayton over Drummond. Yeah, man. I guess long term, I would too, right? I mean, he's got more. We already know what Drummond is. I don't think Drummond's going to get one bit better than he already is. But as a veteran right now, I think he plays on average harder. And if we're trying to get a title within 3 years, what do you do? You know,
Derek Favors would be dope, Roy, but they're not. He's not leaving Utah. He left and then he came back, and they're not trying to trade him to the number 2 team in the West right now either. That ain't happening. But I would love Derek Favors.
let's see. So Gary's saying Drummond sucks, just a rebounder. That's what I'm saying. He will not
fine.
leave the paint. So he and Ayton can't play at the same time.
And he'll hit a 3 every now and then. That's fine.
Book hates Canner. That's true, Nicholas. So that wouldn't happen. LA had a chance to sign with the Suns and decided to go to the Spurs, says Pedro. We talked about this before. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. Duncan was still there. They still had Kawhi. You know, we weren't on that level at that time. Like, I get why he picked the Spurs over us. And if we would have gotten him, we would have been running him out there with point guards like Tyler Ulis, your guys' favorite, and Mike James, and all these guys. Like, I don't know that it would have worked with LA. I mean, he had buyer's remorse first season. The beginning of the season with the Spurs, he tried to force a trade because they were trying to use him the way they used Tim Duncan, and he doesn't want to play that way. He wants to shoot jumpers. Facts. And Pop didn't want him doing that. So who's to say he wouldn't have came to the Suns, realized that the best point guard we could get was Tyler Ulis, and been like, this is ridiculous. Like, I made the wrong choice. What was I thinking coming and playing for Sarver? I think that would have been the storyline.
It was all about Tyson Chandler and LaMarcus Aldridge, right? Those were the big 2 signings. So, fucking Tyson Chandler.
Coach, I know you were saying you're letting me know you've got to go. Do you want to just? We've got a lot of we got 39 people in here. I personally don't feel like leaving. Salty, if you don't mind sticking with me, that would be dope. Mm-hmm. Evan, would you want to close us out with your final thoughts for us to say goodbye to you, man?
Do we could we go over the scores and standings and schedule? Yeah, because I'm really and then you guys can kind of go off and do your own thing. Is that cool? Can we do that?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Let's look up some scores today. I want to start with it's this time of the season where I think we need to go right into what affects the Suns the most. So the biggest game to watch today for the Suns was the Mavericks and the Blazers, and the Mavericks just demolished the Blazers by 40 points. I'm so sorry.
That's what they're talking about?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Dame only had 19, so our Portland guys, I mean, that at this time of year, that is not a good win, that or loss. I did not see it. I didn't watch any of it. I can just see what's going on here. So maybe type in the chat what happened. Was it just one of those games and you just got to move on? But that was the biggest one that I think that affected the Suns. The next one would be the Pelicans and the Nuggets. Pelicans won 113-108 over the Nuggets. Thank you,
Pels.
Brandon Ingram had 30 points. Jokic had 29, 10, and 10. Just your ordinary triple-double, but unfortunately came up in a loss today. And there's all those rumors with Lonzo leaving too. So it's going to be a really crazy next 4 days, you guys. Mm-hmm. So moving on, the next biggest game I'd say would have to be the Pacers and the Heat. It's just always a good matchup with those two. And 109-106, the Pacers out on top this time. They're trying to get back to 500. The Heat are now 1 game over 500 after making a surge, and the Heat are the next team we play.
That's what I was going to say. Look at Bam. Bam just went off for 29 and 10
against Miles Turner.
This is Ayton's next matchup, and he held Miles Turner to 16 and 6. Let's see what they did up against. Let's see what they did against Sabonis.
That's the matchup, man.
17 for Sabonis and 16 for Turner up against Bam. So tonight, look, let's be honest. DA had a cupcake matchup. Am I wrong? There was nobody. Nobody that could stop Ayton, and he knew it. So Bam versus DA tomorrow.
You got somebody to go up against on Tuesday.
I will get on my knees and grovel and repent to DA. if he does tonight, like what he did tonight up against Bam, I'll say, bro, I'm going to give you a whole new line of slack. But I don't think it's going to happen. That's my personal opinion. I fear that he will shrivel against the competition. What do you think, Salt or Evan?
Go Salt.
What do you think, Salty Evan? I think he'll shrivel like, Gabe's wiener in a cold pool. It's already there, so
It does, man.
I don't know. It's a good matchup. It's a good matchup.
We get to watch DA versus Bam, and then we get to watch Jimmy Butler versus Mikal Bridges, which means
what's their record? What's the Heat's record?
22 and 21. But I gave them a little bit of slack because of how soon everything started after their playoff run, going a couple 7-game series and only getting like 2 months off. I give them a little bit of slack, and they've started picking up the last 10-15 games though. They really have.
You want to finish it out?
I'm not really
Coach?
scared. What's up? Go ahead.
Sorry, you're not scared of who?
I'm just not scared of Miami right now.
Well, they're in the East anyway, so the worst thing that would happen to us is we don't have to play the Nets. If we don't have to play the Nets, if hypothetically we got to the finals and it's the Heat, I'd take the Heat over the Nets all day.
Oh yeah,
everybody in the chat would.
Absolutely. But with that being said, we need to keep the pressure, and the Suns need to. It's the beginning of a 4-game road trip. That first one is always, you have the most energy. This is the best team we're going to play because we play the Heat, and then we play the Magic, then we play the Toronto, who's actually in Tampa, and then we play Charlotte now without Ball, and we already lost to Charlotte.
Yeah, we're going to get that.
Yeah, I hope we get that. But it's the first game of the road trip. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. Duncan Robinson and Tyler Herro and Dragic didn't play, so we'll see if it's a scary matchup for the Suns. Yeah,
I hate seeing Dragic. Does anyone agree with me in the chat? I think we handled them. I could be wrong. I think we beat them. But guys, anyone feel this way about Dragic? I feel like when I see Dragic on another team, it feels like being at a restaurant and seeing your ex, like a girl that you loved, seeing her walk in with another dude. It just, I hate seeing Dragic on another team. I don't want him back. I don't think we need him, but
we didn't play them yet. I thought we did.
No, that was we played them in the bubble and beat them. That's what I was
That's
thinking.
Right.
I bet on that game and won money. My heart was going crazy. Do you want to finish out? Sorry, go ahead.
It doesn't slap like that for me. Like they call me salty for a reason, but yeah, I don't know. Like the Dragic situation, I never really got like that. Like, I don't know, man. He's in Miami. He went to the finals. Like I was actually hoping for Miami to beat the Lakers.
Of course, anyone but the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't really feel that way towards Dragic.
I will never forget him for his Game 3 performance, fourth quarter, when he had like 26 points in the fourth quarter against the Spurs to like close out the Spurs. You know what I mean? After not ever getting past them, Dragic, the second-year player, comes in and drops 26 and says, nope, and we move on to the Western Conference Finals. For that reason, he lives in Suns infamy in my mind. But he's left before, and he went to Houston after that, and it was like, whatever, we got him back.
Now we got rid of him.
We traded him
sent him away for Aaron Brooks, which was just a crazy move. Sorry, go ahead, man.
No, so the Heat are coming off of a loss, and we need to keep the pressure going. We're on a little 2-game win streak. Let's just win another one. It's going to be a big game. We play at 6:00 local Phoenix time, so we're going to finally be on early with you guys on Tuesday, which will be good. Going through the rest of the games real quick, the Thunder took care of the Rockets for their 20th straight loss. Lugan's Dort came up big. Shout out, go Devils. The Magic lost to the Celtics 112-96. Jaylen Brown finally got going with 34 points, and Vucevic had 22 and 13. The Nets 113-106 over the Wizards. Kyrie had a good game. Russell Westbrook had another triple-double. Water is wet. The Cavaliers beat the Raptors, who we're going to be playing soon, and the Raptors are just reeling. Remember, we played them early in the season, too. and now we're going to be playing it away. So who knows what's going to happen with them going for a third game. That should be a W because I hate looking ahead to games, right? It's my one thing I really hate. But the Bulls beat the Pistons. They took care of business 100-86. And Sixers in overtime beat the Knicks by 1 point. I am kind of shocked it took overtime for the Sixers to beat the Knicks. But Gabe, where does that lay us in the standings now?
Back in number 2. It
28-13, a full game.
Good to be home.
And we are now officially, what is that? 7 games. I guess officially 8 games ahead of the falling out of playoff contention, which was where my mind was at the beginning of the season. Like, okay, how many games ahead are we of like the playoffs, right? Because we're like in the 6th seed and then 7th seed and then 5th seed. And now we're just moving up. So we have like 40 something games left. Our magic number is like 32 or 33 at this point. So our magic number is coming down. So that's fun. But we're number 2, Lakers 3, Clippers 4, Denver, Portland, San Antonio, Dallas, and Golden State. Look at that. 2 games back, 3, 4, 5.5, 5.5, 7. All those 4 through 9, dude. It is just jumbled up there.
Yeah, things can change in a heartbeat. Just look at the Lakers with injuries and stuff. So never take anything for granted games wise. Like, it's good to feel confident, but the West is so tight, things can go pretty quick. So just gotta go game by game, you know.
All that matters is the Heat. That's all that matters. But because, you know, we are the Suns podcast and you guys join us after every single game, it's important to know when they play. So that's the only time I'll really look ahead. But we play Tuesday, 6 o'clock local time against the Heat. Great game. Then we play the following day. So we're going to have a back-to-back coming up soon. Wednesday against Orlando at Orlando. Then we got Friday. And then we got Sunday, next Sunday at Charlotte, Toronto and Charlotte, I guess Tampa and Charlotte. All away games. All of them are going to be huge. The next game after that, next Tuesday, is going to be home to Atlanta, and that's actually one of our makeup games. So we'll have one more makeup game to do after that, and then we'll be caught up with everybody else in the Western Conference because we've always been like a game or two back out of total games played. So that's just a little tidbit in there with the schedule. So Tuesday, Heat, 8:30, 9 o'clock local time. We'll be here with you guys, right?
Absolutely.
Word. Well, I got to sign out at Coach Evan B on Twitter. Follow me for my terrible takes. Interact. Please like the like button. Hit it. Please
the like button.
Like the like button. Keep the chat going. Please share it out. We appreciate you guys in the chat. And all you guys that I interact with on Twitter that are on here, Roy, Gabe, and others that I'm missing. It's awesome. Let's keep it up and go Suns. See you guys later.
We'll see you, brother.
See you.
Good seeing you, man. So Ryan Booker, what's going on, bro? New guy, haven't seen you in here before. Dope pick says, "What's up?"
Yeah, he threw me off the time again. Like, I'm trying not to miss these games. So he's like 6 p.m. local time. I'm like, okay, 6 o'clock, and then it's 5 o'clock my time. So
okay,
5 o'clock Pacific. Or if you live in Arizona and they don't do daylight savings, 5 o'clock Arizona time, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock
for me and
Texas time or Midwest,
and
then 8 o'clock Eastern, right?
Geek says we got to 31 likes. Yo, is that our record? Is that a record?
I think so. I don't know what it is, but that's good. That's really good. It's good shit.
You know, for that, I will treat him gently tonight, Burner. I will, since he helped us get to 31. It's the little things, man.
For that, Gabe will expose something extra on his OnlyFans.
Salsa
Oh, shit.
So I was going to say, man, did you know that this is our best season? We're off to the best start since 2008.
Who's on the team in 2008?
That's the year that I came to Phoenix and we met.
Was that Shaq Daddy?
Friends. That was probably the year that we got Shaq.
When I get angry, I win championships.
Tell me how my ass tastes, Kobe. Okay? Like, that was that year. Okay? And we were beating the shit out of people, like 30-point wins every game, scoring like 130 points a night. So this is our best season since then. It's just, man, did you think we were going to be here this year?
No, I don't. Not this. I mean, you get Chris Paul, and there's question marks. You got to be honest with yourself, right? I mean, every time, because when I heard Chris Paul was getting traded from the Rockets to the OKC, I thought he was kind of. I didn't say he was washed, but like he's old, and you're like, okay, he's gonna fall off, and then he goes to OKC, takes him to playoffs, like not just gets him in. What did they finish, like top 5 or 6 or something like that?
Yeah, and they beat us. I think they were like the 6th seed, something like that, man.
So then he comes here, and then people have the same question marks. He's old, he's injury prone and this and that. And then we make some other moves. We get Crowder in here. Like I had a feeling that we would definitely be in the hunt for a playoff spot, but it's like what I told you before, you got to learn to walk before you run. And in this case, we're just kind of like, screw learning how to walk. We're just going to run, because it's like the Suns haven't been to the playoffs in 10 years, bro. This isn't like the NFL where one day a team, 1 year teams at the bottom of the barrel, they make some moves and then they could be Super Bowl contenders, because it's a different league. And in the NBA, traditionally, it's just harder to do that. It's harder to go from traditionally sucking to being able to contend or being at the top of the Western Conference, especially with like the Lakers at top or the Clippers and this and that. So to see the transformation of the Suns is incredible, but we saw that in the bubble, and that was just, it catapulted us into this season. So the bubble is the most important thing that could have ever happened to the Suns, man. Like honestly,
You're right.
Like them getting in there, because it was a question mark whether or not they were going to even get invited to the bubble, if you remember correctly. And then they got in. People just kind of wrote them off because they didn't think they had a chance in hell to do anything. And the performance they put on, especially Booker, and then just the fact that they had this like camaraderie. They're playing volleyball outside with each other. I remember seeing that video with Sarek outside with them, and just they look like homies, and they came together and won. It sucked. Who was the dude on the Nets that couldn't get the job done? I won't forgive him. He had that. What's his name, man? That game, the Nets were supposed to beat that team. If they beat them, we would have got in. Oh
shit! Yeah, in the chat, if you guys,
what's his name?
I think it was Levert.
Levert.
I'm pretty sure it was Karis
Levert. Levert was just torching the other team, and he had a chance to hit a game winner, I think, and he didn't make it, and they didn't get the job done. I think Portland got in instead of us, and then they beat the Grizzlies, and then they got clapped by the Nuggets. Who beat them? I don't know.
Yeah,
but if you would, what did you think? Did you think we had? There's no way you could be honest and straightforward and say that you thought we'd be here,
I'm going to be completely honest, man. I've come to learn something about myself this year that I want to change about myself. I don't want to get my takes from the mainstream sports media. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but they really affect you. They really affect me. Like, I remember vividly being in a barbershop when I still had hair before I became Gabe Von Carter and started shaving it. I remember being in there saying straight up, arguing with this dude, like, there is no way Chris Paul and James Harden are going to work out together. And I got that take from ESPN. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like, I heard it from ESPN. I heard several people say that. And I ran with it. I believed it, and I spouted it out. And I was dead wrong. Right? So same thing this year. Everybody, Stephen A., Kellerman, Skip, Chris Broussard, all the top NBA guys. Not that Kellerman is. He's a boxing guy. But they're all saying the Suns are going to be the 5 seed. They're going to be the 5 seed. Well, That's what I told everybody. We're going to be the 5 seed. And we were happy with that because missing the playoffs for over a decade, you're fine. Someone tells you you're going to be the 5 seed, you just say, "Yeah, that sounds great, man. Yeah, we're going to be the 5 seed." But we should have known, considering what Chris Paul did with a markedly less talented team in OKC, that once he got a better team like us, he could take that team further than he could OKC. It only makes sense, right? Like, we are much better, much more talented and closer to being a championship roster than OKC was last year.
Yeah, but you don't know how
It's going to work.
chemistry is going to work, or just everything, how it fits together. So people are always throwing out that stat line that OKC started a certain, what did they have, a losing record in the first certain amount of games, and then they put it together and ended up in the playoffs and stuff. So people have the expectations for the Suns to go about 4-5, and I think that that's what we were thinking. I was just wanting to get in the playoffs and end this drought, so that was really my bottom line. I didn't really want to play in a play-in game or none of that stuff. I wanted to be solid. If I had to be honest, I was thinking I don't know. I was where would we slot? Because in the beginning of the year, I was like, who are we kicking out, right? Because we looked at the Rockets. I remember this conversation clear as day.
Hell yeah.
We're like, what teams would we kick out? And we targeted the Rockets, and we were right on that one. I forgot who else we were
targeted
looking
the
at.
Warriors.
Yeah, we're saying the Warriors are going to take a step back. Yeah, the Grizzlies made the playoffs, and we're like, yeah, they're not going to make it. Portland was going to be in the mix, which they are. I think we were pretty much on the money with playoff predictions, other than the Spurs. I didn't really think the Spurs were going to be in the mix, So other than that, I didn't think the Mavs were going to kind of struggle like they did, but I think they're going to make a push towards the end. They'll move up. The Nuggets are hit and miss kind of a team, but Joker scares the hell out of me, dude. That dude is crazy. I love that guy as a player. He's so clutch at the end. It's so hard to stop him because he's incredible. He can pass it to get a game winner. He could do it himself. Incredible, man. So it's stacking out pretty well. I mean, the Clippers are there. We're there. Lakers got hurt. Blazers just got smashed by the Mavs, but I think that's just I think they beat the Mavericks before that, so I don't think that's really they just kind of had an off night. I don't think that's indicative of what they are as a team. I think it just happens in the NBA, especially when you play these teams over and over. So
out of the top, look, you can see the screen, right? Or is it too small for you?
Let me see.
Out of the top 8 teams,
yeah, I can see it.
The top playoff teams, and everybody in the chat, please, if you don't mind letting us know, let me know. Who's number 1 most scary for the Suns? Later, Pedro. I know he said it's 3 a.m. there. It's 2 a.m. here, bro. I happen to be a night owl, so we appreciate you being out here, Pedro. Who's number 1 most scary out of that top 8?
Matchup wise, a fully healthy Los Angeles Lakers team is scary. Utah Jazz team is scary. The Denver Nuggets play us tough. The Portland, everybody really. I think San Antonio.
Padres.
Wasn't Gary saying he thinks that they'll fall out of playoff contention?
He thinks his Spurs are gonna fall out.
So they fall out, and then what? The Golden State Warriors go in. Because do you have the play-in game, right?
Yeah, I think even the 7th place team, or maybe it's the 8. Whoever's on the 8 now, it would be Golden State and Mavs in that play-in game.
That'd be crazy.
I know.
I don't want to be anywhere near that for the Suns, man. But if you look at that from that perspective, I don't think there's a way that the Suns fall out of playoff contention. If you put it break glass in case of an emergency, if worse came to worse and shit hit the fan, I don't know. I don't see them, because you guys were talking about the LA Lakers falling out. Memphis is, what is that? 19-20. Like who would slot in there? You know, I think it's pretty. These teams that we're seeing right now will shuffle around, but I think that these are the teams that we're going to see in there. I think Golden State will move up. I think eventually, I think they'll make it in the playoffs. And maybe San Antonio doesn't make it. You know.
Finals prediction from burner account is the Suns versus the San Diego Padres.
Shit, I'll take the San Diego Padres if it means we win a championship.
Right.
Shit.
So I'm reading all the comments on that in here. It seems like everyone who's giving a serious take is saying it's actually pretty split up. Some people are saying Clips, some people are saying Lakers, some people are saying Mavs. I mean, you guys got to understand that the Mavs, like, we have pwned them. Like, we
own the Mavs.
I don't know why we own them, but we own them. You know, so I can't even remember the last time we lost against them. In fact, I've bet actual money that I really shouldn't be betting and won because it's just kind of a given.
It's a good matchup for us. We own them. Just look at the history of Doncic. It's crazy.
They got over us in the draft, but we get over on them in the games for whatever reason.
But they are surging though. They're surging.
Roy's saying the Nuggets. My first thought is that the Nuggets scare me the most. But when you put it into context and say a fully healthy Lakers team, yeah, I guess I got to give Lakers their props when they're fully healthy with AD and Bronny. I think they're number one. And then I go, what do you want to say? Jazz number two, because their defense. Gobert's defense is legit, man. He fucks everything up in the paint.
We would just have to play them again. We beat them. Didn't we only play them once?
We've only played them once, and we beat them. Yeah, they beat the shit out of us twice in preseason, but that doesn't count at all.
Nah, we need to play them again before I can form an opinion on that. I really don't know, because we beat them the only matchup we had. I don't really. I'd have to see matchups with them to really say if I'm scared about that. Denver Nuggets. Are we getting Jamal Murray that's been off hot and cold this season? Or are we getting Michael fucking Jordan in the playoffs? Murray. You know what I'm saying?
True. He does play that against us.
If you got that Murray, yeah, that'd be scary as fuck.
Okay, so what about the Blazers?
Healthy
Blazers. Now. We're talking they've got Nurkic back, and they've got look at their 25-17 standing. That's actually super good. I know they're not happy with the way their team is playing, but 25-17, considering it's Dame just carrying them. I mean, they've got some other players. They've got Anthony Simons. You know, they've got that Nas kid. They've got players still because that's a good organization. But we're talking fully healthy now.
I just think
I don't want to play Dame time.
I'm okay with playing him, and I'll tell you why. Because they're not a good defensive team. I think we're just incredibly way better when it comes to defense. So I feel like we're deeper than them, and I feel like you match up. So you go I don't know, Chris Paul, Dame. You give it to Dame, McCollum, CP3. It's kind of a wash. I mean, give it to CP3 probably, and then you go down the line, start checking off boxes. I think that we just, we beat them both times we play them, but they didn't have McCollum. I think it would be a good matchup. Probably go 6-7 games, but I feel like we'd pull it out.
So Tori from Blazers Uprise, shout out, man. He brought up, I heard him talking a lot about it, and then we talked about it on the pregame show. They play a specific type of defense that Terry Stotts is very, very stubborn about. And basically the scheme is they go ahead and set a screen, then basically the big man just drops off, and you're trying to force mid-range shots. But that doesn't work. Their whole offense is predicated on don't give up the three, don't give up a layup. That sounds great, right? That sounds like a really smart way to play. But it doesn't work against us specifically because Booker is one of the most lethal mid-range shooters in the NBA. So is Chris Paul. The only place that DeAndre Ayton can shoot from is the mid-range. We've got like Mikal Bridges. That's something I wanted to bring up. Guys, I think Mikal Bridges has been in the lab with CP3. His little turnarounds in the paint, his little mid-range floaters have gotten damn near automatic. Have you noticed that about Mikal?
Mikal, yeah.
He didn't have that last
he
year.
didn't have a good night tonight though, right? I mean, offensively.
It was okay. It wasn't bad. Cam came in and probably got a little bit of his shine, you know.
With Mikal, I notice his threes and his getting to the rack. That's normally what he does. But yeah, sometimes he'll shoot the midi. He'll shoot that midi.
Blazer Tay 2K. He's saying, you know, his coach sucks and this and that, but he's saying that the Blazers have more talent.
I don't see. I
don't know.
I heard that when we were on their podcast.
That they have more talent.
But I don't necessarily believe that. I don't know if it's just maybe I need to watch more Blazers games, but like if we go down the line, I don't know. Like,
so Nurkic is better than Ayton. Let's get that right out of the way.
Is he?
At this point in Ayton's career, I think he is.
When's he coming back, Nurkic?
Good question. Blazers fans, when is Nurkic coming back? I think what's his name is back already. God, I keep
McCollum's back.
He's back. So I mean, that's
what about Nurkic?
I think that Nurkic is somebody who is better than Ayton right now.
But when does he come back? Isn't he hurt?
Brian Scalabrine is saying 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
You know.
All right. So fully healthy, the Portland Trailblazers are more talented. That might be correct, but we're a better defensive team. Okay. So when your shots, you control your defense. So the Suns can, you know, ratchet up their defense, and I feel like that would take them over the top. I'm still saying that if fully healthy teams, it would go to probably 7 games, but I would go with the Suns just based on the fact that they're a better defensive team.
I think we're a better defensive team, but I also think that we're better, that we're more deep. Like we've talked about them, they're about 11 deep, and I think we're truly 15 deep.
I mean, but you're not
truly 15 deep.
You're not going that deep in the playoffs, though. That's the problem.
You're right, and that's what I told them on their podcast. I'm like, all you need to be is 11 deep or so in the playoffs. You don't need to be 15, but we are 15 deep. So I mean, our 10th overall pick, Sticks, can't even like sniff the court no matter what he does. He's never allowed to play. Like that's the sign that our team is deep as fuck, that we're not even bothering trying to get this dude ready. Don't even have time for you, bro. Sorry. I know we wasted a top 10, or not wasted, spent a top 10 pick on you, but you're just going to sit there and just collect dust, bro, because we've got bigger things, bigger fish to fry.
Blazers have playoff experience, though, you know?
They do. That is a big thing. But, dude, I mean, Chris Paul has so much playoff experience. Crowder was just there starting in the playoffs last year. We're not void of playoff experience. I mean, the bubble felt like the playoffs, bro. It felt like more than the playoffs. It felt like losing you're out, and they didn't lose. I think we're going to be a better team in the playoffs than we are in the regular season. I truly believe that.
I agree.
You know?
Some people are predicting that we're going to get washed in the playoffs.
That we're going to get, well, it depends on who we draw, but right now we're staring at the Spurs, and I like our chances. I respect the Spurs. I hate their guts, but I respect them as an organization. But I think we beat the Spurs right now, the way that things are going. Mavericks, I think we eat the Mavericks' ass easily. Trailblazers, that's where I'm not so excited. Denver, also less excited. And then everything up there is just uphill, man. Like But yeah, I think my biggest fear is probably the full health Lakers, Jazz, Clippers, Nuggets, Blazers, San Antonio, Dallas, the way it's lining up. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, and the problem with any team from the West getting out to the finals, they're going to get so beat up playing all these good teams that it's going to be an issue playing against the finals. The representative from the East, because the East isn't that deep. I don't feel like it's going to be that arduous of a task to get through the East, especially if it's like a Nets team,
So Burner's saying it, hey, at least we have a chance to be in the playoffs. Yeah, we're not only going to be in the playoffs, but we're going to probably finish top 4. And you're looking at a home playoff series. I think we advance out of the first. Dude, this is going to be so exciting. I'm so stoked for the playoffs, dude. Man, playoff Suns is a fucking mood. Think Book will be a top 100 player of all time. I don't know. He's got to increase his defense, but I guess I'd have to see who's in that 100. He's got to win a title, I would think. I would think he's got to win a title. P-Dog, I know, man. It's been too long, dude. It's been too long. Back during that last playoff series that we were going through, I think that it ended with Ron Artest getting that tip in. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Pretty sure that was the last time we were in the playoffs. Dude, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings every game of the playoffs. And that was like what, two or three series that we went through. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings, dude, I got so fat, dude, eating so many wings, so many of those cheesy bacon potato wedges. I don't think I've been back to Buffalo Wild Wings since, man. So anyways, I think we've pretty much covered enough. We could just, continue to talk Suns all day, but let's save a little bit of it. We got another game coming up. When did he say that Heat game was?
Tuesday.
So we're going to have one night off, let these boys get their legs, and we'll see if Suns Geek. I think it was pretty successful tonight, man, going from Geeks to ours. So we'll see if he wants to do that. He might just want to just hop on here so he doesn't have to deal with the headache. But see, Joshua says I teared up early because the Suns are going to be in the playoffs. I know, man. But we're not just going to be in the playoffs. You know that feeling like in the NFL where you're begging at the end of the season for your team to get in? You're like, well, if this team loses and this team loses and we win our last 3 games, we're going to be in the playoffs. And it's such a big deal. Like, this is more than that. We're not just going to be in the playoffs. We're going to win in the playoffs. We're going to be at home winning. Like, I don't even know. God, man, I almost wish I had kids like you, Salty, so I could share this moment with my children and make sure that they're Suns fans for the rest of their life, bro. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, because when you realize that it can go, your franchise can go a decade or more without being there, it puts a little bit more urgency on like really enjoying the moment.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you to Suns Geek. Thank you to Coach Evan B, who had to dip out of here. Thank you to everybody in the chat, Gabe, Burner, P-Dog. Man, we had like 10 new people that I haven't seen in the chat. Roy, Josh, Elixity, Brian Scalabrini, all the Blazers guys, we love you. Thank you for staying up with us past 2 a.m. Central. We'll see you guys Tuesday night. And hopefully Suns Geek will be here too. Salty, do you want to say your goodbyes?
Say my goodbyes. Thanks for hanging out. Algorithm's been good. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can know when we go live. Hopefully, if they send you a notification or not. Follow us on Twitter. Saltiest AZ fan is mine. I think so. And then follow the main account and stuff to stay up to date. That's it.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
Saltiest AZ fan. Isn't that that's my Twitter, right?
Yeah, right now it's just saying Salty. But guys, I run the Suns Valley Pod. I run our official one, so that's me. Whenever you see that person talking, so give me a follow if you don't mind. If you haven't, I'll definitely follow you back. I pretty much do follow for follow. Like I don't big time people because why would we? But man.
On my other Twitter account for my gaming channel, I will big time you. So if you follow me on there,
follow. What is it at Saltiest Gaming? But it's spelled a little different.
Saltiest_gaming is. I have a gaming channel, so
big
14,000 subscribers. You know, we got like 8,000 plus on the Twitter side. So hit it.
You're right. Up. You're right, Burner. I do got to go feed Geek. So we'll end it now. We'll see you guys Tuesday. Go Suns. Let's go.